कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी 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 यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा मन छाई यमुना तीरा मन छाई यमुना तीरा मन छाई यमुना तीरा मन छाई जय राधा माधव कुंज जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Hare Krishna. Good evening.
So cute.
Thank you for coming. This evening's discussion on how to apply some of the Gita teachings, there's plenty, in our daily life or devotee's life. So we did some yesterday, and today we'll continue. So the first thing that I would like to discuss is how you can apply in your daily sadhana practice. So one of the things that is discussed in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 6 is discipline, yoga. To practice yoga you have to be disciplined. Like you have to not to eat too much, not to eat too little, not to sleep too much, not to sleep too little, and so on and so on. Not to play too much and things like that. So therefore you see in chapter 5 the yama and niyama principles are emphasized. And similarly towards the end Arjuna also questions Krishna, but the mind, Krishna, the mind, what to do? So the mind is restless, and but by practicing one can actually hold the mind steady. Yeah. So he also says, he actually says, what is that? Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramatta balavad dhrutam tasyaham nigram manye vayureva suduskara. very difficult to control. It's restless, it's turbulent, it's obstinate, and it's strong like the wind. So he says how to control. What does Krishna says? By practice. Yeah. He says by practice you can control. So although we all are having difficulty, but by practice we should be able to control the mind. But why can't we control it? We've been doing it for so long. It's because we are not practicing properly. That's the bottom line. But it is easily controlled if you practice daily. One of the things is you are regulated. So after some time the mind accepts that regulation. Because we live a life that is so random. Right? Anyhow, like a dog eating on a plate, just randomly eats and whole plate is a mess like that. So all our minds are like that, So, but Krishna says just practice, Arjuna. These things are not so difficult. If you allow something to drag you, naturally you cannot control it. But if you hold it and practice steadily, you find that you are able to overcome that difficulty. So our sadhana is actually practice. It's the beginning stage for all of us. We have to practice properly. And so we can see that in the Gita, that this discipline is very important. Not that I will get up anytime and then I'll chant. Or I don't feel like it. I'll chant when I feel like it. So that's another problem. A lot of people are like that, Not only that, we allow distractions to overcome our focus, right? When we were kids, we were doing our work in the home, but as soon as there's an ambulance or a siren going, we'll run to the window to see what it is. Because we have never seen a fire engine or an ambulance. But then when you come to the West, the fire engine, the ambulance are always running every day. And even the police cars. So it was like that. So you have to fix. Every day you fix. Unless you are having some illness, some difficulty in your life that you cannot maintain that regulation, it's understandable. Otherwise, the way you control the mind, you have to regulate your chanting, regulate everything in your life. That's basically what it is. And so it's important, fix your chanting time. Don't just decide. And then reduce the distractions, When you want to chant, your phone goes on your altar in your home. Under the jurisdiction of your deities. So you cannot touch it until you finish your rounds. Are you all working for the Prime Minister or something? So then you don't have any urgent reason to keep your phone with you. Right? Are you working for the emergency in the hospital? Nobody here. Yeah. Unless you're a doctor on call or something. Yeah, I understand. But otherwise, you shouldn't have distractions. Something pops up and everyone looks at that. Right? This is a disease in our society. A lot of distractions, and therefore we never give our value to chanting. Or, as I mentioned earlier, I don't feel like chanting. Those kind of, that's terrible kind of sadhana. I don't like it today, I'm not chanting. I'll chant. Well, yeah, I did. I took initiation, I promised, but I don't feel like chanting. Because I don't feel good. Right? That goes to show there's no control over one's mind, The other thing is we should understand, as jiva we are superior to the mind. and more superior to the mind is intelligence. Indriyani parayani ahur indriyevya param manaha. And then manasastu para buddhi. Above the manas is buddhi. And then yo buddhi paratastu saha. That means the soul is higher than the intelligent souls. So therefore, the mind should not be controlling us. But we let the mind control. So therefore we have so much problem. So, some practical advice is that you should actually consume media mindfully. It's inevitable in this society that the media is overwhelming, so people are going to do it. So consume it, mindfully. That means, okay, I need to watch certain things because I've invested in the stock market, so I have to watch this, the news and those things. Okay, fine, but more than that, one shouldn't be consuming so much social media or news. You don't have to bother with the news, You can die and take birth and the Middle East war is still going on. Yeah. I'm not joking. I was a little kid, 6 years old. Middle East war was going. Now I'm almost hitting 70 and still going on. It'll never end, all these things. They're all distractions, and therefore they're always there. So social media, listening to news, you don't really need to. Once in a while you check, just so that there's war going on in Australia, at least right? Otherwise, Hare Krishnas are on the other extreme also. No problem, we'll just chant Hare Krishna. In the meantime, there's a war going on, people shooting. So we can't be at the other extreme also. So therefore, we have to set boundaries with the use of technology also, right? How often you need to go on the internet to search for certain things, and then you get bombarded by useless things, useless news, and you spend hours, and therefore your mind is not controlled. So much so now they come up with shorts. Reels. Everything, reels, shorts. So everything is like 3 seconds, 4 seconds, because the mind cannot handle more than that now. Unfortunately, we are not that. This is not our nature. Yet we allow this thing to control us. Are you all serious about going back to God?
Yes.
Then why you indulge in these things? Right? Why are you indulging in these things? It doesn't make sense, you say yes and then you keep doing that. That means there's something wrong with the whole, understanding. And if you have to watch entertainment, let's say you got kids who say they want to watch this movie, then you should first find out as an adult what kind of movie it is. Is it good? Is it enlivening? Is it uplifting? Is it full of nonsense? My kid doesn't need to know. So the parent should be very proactive like that. So it should lift rather than degrade one's consciousness. Right? So you can go and watch maybe Life on Earth by David Attenborough. Instead of watching some stupid show. It is, most shows are stupid. Same thing, hero, heroine, and a bad guy. The classic thing, right? The bad guy kidnaps the heroine and the hero goes and rescues. Finish. That's it. You do it in infinite times and different actors and different scenarios. It's the same thing. Especially in Indian movies, it's the same thing. You see one, you've seen them all. But yet they are so attached to watching that. I say, look at this guy. Oh, how can he do this? Or they have soap operas. The same thing. Every soap opera in India is about 20 minutes or less. But it runs for half an hour because the other 15 minutes is all adverts and commercials. And it's the same thing. Mother-in-law is a demon. The daughter-in-law is an angel. Right? Every show is the same nonsense. And still people are... because they can't control their mind. They don't know when is enough. Therefore, Krishna says, everything must be regulated. If you want to go back to Godhead, you have to give up. You have to give up the material energy. And once in a while you should have a, a detox. Right? Detox of all the digital detox, they call it. Yeah. So that means you put it up in the safe and then lock it up, and the whole family goes out walking or come to the temple, whole day spend or something like that. There's no need unnecessary. What you can do is when you get up, you reflect on what you want to do daily. That way your mind is satisfied. This is what I'm going to do. Right? I'm getting up, I'm going to chant my rounds up to such time, then I'm going to read, and then I'm going to go to work or whatever, I'm going to cook, whatever. So there should be meditation on that. It's very important. And there should be reflection. And therefore one of the things you all need to do is you should all keep a journal. I think I mentioned it last time. A journal helps a lot because when you write it, it's like a confirmation of what you want to do. It's like a contract. I want to do this. A journal you write is to your deities. This is what I want to do today, or this is what I've done, and so on. And fixed time for everything, breakfast, everything should be really regulated, and not on the impulse. I'm hungry and then go and eat something and come back and then spoil your digestion and then eat something later because mom and dad want me to sit and eat with them, right? And then eat again, and then or on the impulse, immediately take the cell phone and go on the Facebook to see what's new, or check your inbox. So much impulse. Life is on the impulse all the time. So delay that, delay all that. There's no urgency. If someone feels something is urgent, they will get in touch with you, no problem. You don't have to go and keep checking to see who's calling you. Right? Most of the people are checking to see who called me. Oh, nobody calls me. Oh, I'm all alone in this universe. Like it's the end of the world, So it's very important for us to understand now. So when we respond, we should choose the responses properly rather than reacting impulsively. So when you react impulsively, then you're letting the mind control. When you respond means that you think about it. So then that way you don't give the mind a chance to control you. So your impulse may be, I'm going to tell him off or her off, but then if you think about it, it's not worth it, because the soul takes precedence and you use the intelligence. It's okay, some cold is okay. Yeah, so don't all these impulsive actions that we do, we shout at our kids because they are taking over our sense gratification, right? And so we react. So we should be very careful. Top of that, mind is also controlled if you can cultivate healthy habits. So, list things that will be favorable for your upliftment, your consciousness and so on. And it should be consistently practiced, not just one time. Someone teaches you pranayam, you do it the first day, and then after that, don't bother with it. Right? Then you say, it didn't work for me. How many times you say, I did it once. How can it have effect? Right? Or you go for a walk, because it's important, you did a walk, your doctor told you to walk, brisk walk, and you walk for half an hour, and then you came back exhausted, then you decided never to do it. Then you meet the doctor about a couple of weeks, and the doctor says, "Have you been walking?" "Oh, I tried." So therefore, we are not consistent and we are not developing healthy habits. If you are inconsistent in so many things in your life, how can you be consistent in Krishna consciousness? Your mind will be consistently disturbing you. Yeah. So in managing your mind, one of the important things is also the intent. We call it, in fact, when you do japa retreats and so on, we call it sankalpa. You make a vow. So you have to make such intention, because otherwise Krishna cannot accept your devotion. What I mean is, Krishna will accept your devotion. He's not there to say you must perfectly do it. He's more interested in your devotion rather than your perfection. Okay, so that's important. So if you cannot do something properly, then you give it up because I didn't do it well. No, the intention is you want to do it well, but you couldn't. But you want to please Krishna. So Krishna actually accepts the devotion part more than if you can accomplish properly or not. So we need to understand that. So therefore we chant sincerely. Sincerely means what? Don't let any distractions, don't let other things interfere in your practice of chanting also. Because chanting is also part of mind control. It's purification and everything else as well. But as you focus, Prabhupada said, right? The sense of touch, the sense of voice, and then the sense of hearing. If three senses are focused on one thing, the mind is steady. Which is why we use japa mala to chant. Yeah. Of course, those who have arthritis or what, they can use some of the means, which is okay, but that's understandable. But others, we should chant. Touching on tulsi is very auspicious, very pleasing to Krishna also. So do your best, do whatever you do your best, but the results can be nice, or the results, because we are not attached to the outcome, we are more attached to our intent to please Krishna. That way the mind will become very fixed in that intention, the sankalpa you make. Yeah. And then the other thing is, as I mentioned many times in this discussion, is to be consistent. Okay? Consistency is very important. And one of the things is smartavya satatam Vishnu vishmartavya najata. Say always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So in your daily actions, you have to practice that. Is this connecting me to Krishna? Am I remembering Krishna with this activity? Yeah. Otherwise, you find that mostly you're not. Right. So there should be some time. If you're very conscious about that, you'll realize, I'm not thinking of Krishna. By thinking like that, you are thinking of Krishna. Yeah. So that way it becomes micro remembrances. And if the more you do it, then it becomes macro. right? So yeah, you can do these things that I just mentioned. That will connect you to Krishna and control your mind. So we can apply the Gita like this. So all these are chapter 6, chapter 8, chapter 9, all these are, all this that I just discussed and these chapters. Yeah. Now Gita also tells you to do service actually, because Arjuna is thinking he's doing it, but Krishna says, if you want to do or you don't do, it's up to you, but I would like it if you do it. So then he understands this is service. And when he realizes it, that he doesn't like it, he doesn't like killing his family members, but it pleases Krishna. So therefore, in the end, he says, I will do it. I will do for you, Krishna. So therefore, work done for Krishna is purifying. Right? So your activity should somehow be connected to pleasing Krishna. Yeah. If you say I'm working outside, that's okay, because whatever you're doing is you're doing to maintain your family members who are Krishna conscious, or you're helping them become Krishna conscious. And the fruits of that you also give to the temple or to promoting Krishna conscious activity. So that way you're purifying. But if you do it for yourself, then it's binding. Karma bandhanam. But if you do it for Krishna, it is liberating. Okay? So one of the things is when we do work in the office or even in the temple environment, we do to please Krishna. We don't do to compete with one another, That the competition should be to please Krishna, even if you want to have competition. But otherwise it's not like that. You should be very careful. And then don't always compare. I mentioned this yesterday also. Always thinking, the person did like I'm going to... But it's centered around one's self-ego actually. I want to be better than that person. Not so much as, that person did so nice for Krishna. I also want to do like them. I want to do better to please Krishna. So it's a different consciousness. So service must be done without ego. That's the bottom line. And then after doing it, you dress, then you come out, then you don't look for appreciation or credit. Did I do good? Was I the best dresser? Am I the best cook? Yeah. Did I sing so nicely? I sang so nicely, I forgot myself. Yeah, I was in ecstasy. We are given tasks by either the spiritual master or the temple authorities, so we may not like it sometimes. But Krishna says better to do one's prescribed duties than, even though you're not good at it, it's better to do your duties than to do another's perfectly. Right? He says that. And because if you do someone else's duty, then ultimately your own duty you're not doing, it's destroying yourself. And then you become sinful in not performing your own activities. So dharma is not just about religious duty, it's also aligning with your nature. Some of you have more, I mentioned yesterday, sattva guna. Some of you have a mix of sattva and raja, mix of sattva and tamas, mix of sattva, tamas and raja also. So there's many combinations. You may have more sattva and a little of all the others, or you have more ignorance and so on. So you should also realize that that you have a particular nature and it is only good for certain activities, and so, but you should not think of, I have to do that because that has more prestige, more position. It only will bring you down, and if you try to do those activities, you'll fail actually, sometimes. Yeah. So therefore, Dharma isn't just on doing religious duty, it's more like, is my nature allowing me to do the religious duty favorably in this or this way? Like that. So we should identify our natural talents. Each of you know what you're good at, so you should do that. And your inclination, what attracts you, what you feel confident. Distraction. Right? Yeah, because you're worried about your son, what he's doing.
I was looking for Arjun.
Huh?
No, I'm looking for Arjun.
I know, that's what I mean, is a distraction. Because prior to class you have to actually make a sankalpa with your sons and say, this is what you have to do. I'm not going to come looking for you, but when we reach home, I'll give you something. Yeah. So that understanding will strengthen their resolve also to sit quietly rather than running around. It's like a baby, Baby is like a mind. You put the baby and say sit. Do you think the baby will sit? It'll just start crawling here and there. So that's how the mind is. So identify your natural talents and instincts, inclinations. Also identify what are the activities that make you lose track of time. Right? Facebook, Instagram, binge watching nonsense. What else?
FIFA World Cup.
Huh?
Or what is it? FIFA World Cup.
FIFA World Cup. Is it a whole day? No, right? No. Yeah, okay, know where you're losing time so you can work on that, fix that thing. Yeah. And then also see what are the problems that you always have in your daily or in your weekly or monthly activities that is always constantly nagging you, so that you can look into it and try to solve that, rather than letting it always bother you. Okay, and you can't do the service properly. And then you can also see what others are always coming to you for. They say, can you do this for me? If 10 people are asking you that means you must be good at that. Or you are such a nice person, everyone is asking you to do their service. Right? Yeah. So that's within the temple boundaries. But then outside, you should choose work that utilizes your strengths also when you're working out there. Don't just look for a job that pays a lot but makes you very unhappy. Most people do that, It's not part of their nature, but they think the money is honey, And if you do something, you should pick a role outside in the community that can contribute and help in a meaningful way in society. So that way you develop also some good qualities and habits, helping people. Part of our culture is devotee culture is to help. Right? So don't chase careers for prestige or money. When I was younger, there's a group called ABBA. Money, money, money. It's a rich man's world. Just see how you hear one time, you can remember all your life. So what is our true calling? We should also identify that, and that is what we should be willing to start, even if we are imperfect in. We are servants of Krishna, but we can't do some things, but we should come and do some service for Krishna. We may not be the best, but we should be willing to do. Can I help? Right? Okay. Yeah. Of course, you can't get everyone in the kitchen to cook, because some people really can't cook. And if they can't cook, then everyone will be crying. Yeah. It won't be a Sunday love feast, it will be Sunday hate feast. So, and in doing our actions or work or whatever, we should also be calm, equipoised. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyakta dhananjaya. He says, perform your duty equipoise. And then one shouldn't be attached to the results. Whether it's a success or failure, I did my best. The results is up to Krishna. Okay? Krishna says, abandon such attachment for the results. But mostly we are all attached to results. Everything is attached. Even our devotional practice is based on results. Therefore we are so fruitive. We are not developing the culture where we want to please Krishna. We are developing a habit that we want Krishna to please us. So when Krishna tells him to perform that in that mood, the whole idea is not to be indifferent, but rather to become stable. It's not that we are indifferent to things, that we become very, regardless of the external circumstances, we are stable, we are not panicky or whatever, but we are not indifferent, we know what's happening. And we'll know what to do if that thing changes course or something like that. We know how to react properly, so that's important. So we can read that in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna tells Arjuna to be like that. So it's also very important for us to identify those things. So what are some of the things? You get promoted because you did a good job. And so, yeah, celebrate, fine, but don't make it into like, I'm really good. Right? Like you were saying about the World Cup, no? So the guy scored goal and he's like, I'm the one. Right? But for the whole 90 minutes nobody scores, then what? Right? It's like that. So Krishna never once tell Arjuna, once you kill you can celebrate. Or be arrogant and happy. He never says that. So we should also identify that. Sometimes the success is not in our hands, it is beyond our control. So we should also reflect on that. Some other forces are behind that sometimes. So we should give thanks to them. Be grateful, gratitude. And if you are successful, it doesn't mean you are better than others. Rather, it gives you an opportunity to help those who are not successful. This is very difficult in the normal society out there, but you can show others that that my success is a motivation to help others come to a better consciousness. We are fighting against a culture that is diametrically opposed to Krishna consciousness. But yet when we show these feelings towards others, wanting to nurture them, and make them more cultured or advanced in their thinking, it'll bring about a kind of a mini revolution in your office space or whatever. Right? People start thinking differently. Wow, yeah, this is a good way to think. Yeah. And the other thing is, as Krishna says, Martas Parsastu Kontega, no? The Sitosna Supudukaya. That just as winter season comes, it's going to also go away. So similarly, you have success now, a few years later you won't have. There will be failure. So these are all temporary also. So we should not let them set back or define us. We should not think, oh, I didn't get promoted, so I am not worthy. Which is what the culture of that is, you know. Or you should also accept the Peter's principle. You are only promoted to your level of incompetence. And say, okay, I've attained my best. Yeah. Means you're competent only up to that level. You can't be promoted anymore. You should say, yeah, that's fine. I'm happy. Just waiting for my retirement. And I can go for my yatra with Chandan Yatra Prabhu. So, when we have difficulties in life, we should use it to develop resilience and compassion at the same time. So it's important to develop that. That way we can always help others. So Krishna says again in chapter 2, you know, Karmani vadikaraste ma phalesu. Yeah, everybody knows that. Yeah. So he says you have the right to perform your duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of those activities. One of the things Krishna also says, you shouldn't consider that you are the cause of the results of your action. No. Okay, there are many factors outside. You may desire, you may act, but there are so many other people that are also within that. So we should focus in our life. We should focus in doing excellent work. I always encourage the students, you know, when they go to school, I say, you know, you should be the number one student. And then when people ask how you're number one, you should say, Krishna help me. Yeah. So in the same way, when we do work in our office and so on, we should show them that we're the best. Whether we get promotion or not, that's beside the point, you know. How do we know this is the way we should live? Look at the life of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. You know, the Britishers want to keep him down, but he was so good that they had no choice but to give him the magistrate post. Yeah, he was the best. He would do all his work before lunch. And they were all like, you know, this guy is sabotaging us. Because people like to, you know, especially when you work for the city or the government job, people like to shake their leg and do, just like construction work. You'll see the work, what can be done in 3 weeks, they'll take 1 year. Alright, so because we are devotees of Krishna, we don't cheat the system, we don't cheat others, because we want to save time, we want to do it properly, we do our excellent way. Or, you know, we shouldn't take on challenging careers or projects without a guarantee of success. Oh, but if it comes to you and your boss says you do it, then do it. But you don't go looking for that and then complaining, oh, this is too much, I have no time for this, I have no time for that. You know. If the project comes, alright, okay, no problem. No guarantee of success, that's fine, I'll do it. Because I have ethics. I have values, that I'll do a good job. Because that's what Arjuna does in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He does his best as a warrior. He fights and he kills all these enemies. The same way we should also do it properly. Yes, we don't know what the guarantee of success is or not, but we will do it. So the project may be challenging, but we will do it because we were asked to do it. Okay. So the other thing that is emphasized also, Arjuna was acting like, he didn't act like a Kshatriya. So therefore, Krishna said, where did this impurity come from? How come you are so fallen? You come from such exalted family. How can you not be acting properly? So therefore, we should always maintain our professional excellence. Right? When we do very well. So that's very important. And similarly, when we are working with others, we should show that we have affection for them, that we are not their enemies, and we should not expect any similar reactions from them. Because I bought you a birthday gift, so I expect something from you when it's my birthday. Right? That's a simple example, but that's part of life also. People always are expecting specific responses. And this again expands to keeping scores. Right? I gave you a lift twice this week, and then you haven't given me a lift. Right? People are like that. Yeah. Or you bought me drinks, and the last 2 times I bought you, mate. What's happening? Right? So we cannot think like that. Sometimes, obviously, if it's like every day for like, then you can say, I'm not buying anymore. That's different. But in this case, there's a relationship. So we help people, but we don't keep scores. That's devotee. Yeah. We help. We give them Krishna consciousness. We don't say, I help this guy become a devotee and he's not even respecting me. Doesn't matter who's keeping the score. Krishna is keeping the score. We don't have to give any scores. So it doesn't matter. And again, part of it is we express kindness, but we don't anticipate reciprocation. Right? You don't anticipate reciprocation. I show kindness to you. You help so many people. They don't. It's an amazing journey in Krishna consciousness because you actually give so much, and then you see sometimes the reciprocation is not there. I remember many years ago there was a car accident. I was in the car also, and I got injured. Ribs broken, and I was in my room all by myself. Hardly anyone, no, not hardly, not only one person came to see me. Yeah, and I was thinking, is this how it's going to be for the rest of my life? Yeah. So therefore, we should not expect. Although I was new, but there was that feeling of where's that affection, where's that love also. So devotees should always share that, so that people don't feel there's no kindness in our society. If someone is sick or not, you call or you try to go. If you can, obviously. If you can't, that's different. But that should be there. Some things that in almost every circle of life, even if it's not Krishna conscious, is that each and every one of you should have a personal goal of keeping yourself healthy. So not just to look good, but to keep healthy so you can do service, you can have a good Krishna conscious life. And the other thing is, personally, each and every one of us want to know the philosophy properly. So we learn, we study, not to show people, not to say I have Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti this and Bhakti that. It's not that. It's more, we want the knowledge so we can practice properly also, or we can share with others to elevate their consciousness and help them overcome difficulties. And then personally also we should practice reflection, as I mentioned in the beginning. It's very important. And we practice meditation for peace, not for superpowers. So our chanting and so on. Actually, it's true, when you perfect chanting, you will get all the siddhis. Automatically it will come. But the acharyas don't show all the siddhis. There's a pastime where Srila Prabhupada, once in Radha Damodar temple, Srila Prabhupada was in his room writing. And this is said by Yamuna Mataji. So in the courtyard there was a monkey. Some monkeys will come and steal things and run away and so on. So one monkey is a female monkey called Halada. So every monkey they get the name. One day they saw the monkey running up to Prabhupada's room and grabbing something. So Yamuna Devi Mataji came running, Prabhupada, and she opened the door. And she said, Prabhupada. Then she kept quiet. She was astonished because Prabhupada was holding the monkey's hand. And then she looked, then Prabhupada was actually talking to the monkey. And the monkey was listening. And then when she came through the door, Prabhupada looked at her and said, and he smiled. And then he said something to the monkey. And then he let go. The monkey didn't take anything and left and did not disturb them after that. So our acharyas, many acharyas, you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavad and so on. There's one acharya who, in his room when he's chanting, he's floating and going around. But he doesn't show off to other people that he has that siddhi or whatever. So therefore, we do all this practice for connection with this Supreme Person, not for any other yogic potency or something. Of course, we wish we had that. If I imagine I'm in Vrindavan, boom, I'm there. That's good, but then we will try to use it for the wrong reasons. Invariably, it will happen when we are not in control of our mind. So mostly in our personal life, any results we get, we should offer it back to Guru and Krishna. Yeah. And whatever the outcomes happen, we accept as Krishna, sanctioned by Krishna. And in all circumstances, we remain focused and steady. Yeah. And the service we do, we service because we understand who we are, and we understand we are able to do some activities because we are empowered by Krishna or the spiritual master. So therefore we become humble. Right? That vidhi pranipatena pariprashna sevaya. We can do it. We can even serve the Guru because the Guru is actually empowering us, saying, okay, you do this, you do that. We go and ask the Guru, what can I do? You know? And so we become humble, understanding this is all under the mercy of the spiritual master. And in serving, we also understand that they guide our well-wishers, our authorities. They will correct us. They will teach us. And so therefore, we accept it in a humble mood because it's for our benefit. So service cannot be done on our whim. It has to be under guidance. Okay? So anything you find you're doing, you will know there's an authority that has empowered you to do the service. It's not that the service you do is like random, okay, I'll do this. It doesn't work. Right? We do it with that authority. The whole idea is we should give up the mentality of I know better. When we are under authority, it's sanctioned by Krishna. When we have no authority, I know better. So Krishna says in the 4th chapter, you cannot understand this unless you are under guidance. Transcendental knowledge cannot manifest in our hearts if we are not guided by someone who is under the Guru Parampara. Okay? And of course, in the 10th chapter, Krishna says we have to see that in all and everyone's heart, Krishna is there. Krishna is there. So, do we see that? Yeah. No, we see the body, but we don't see the spirit soul. So we need to start practicing that. Because everyone's carrying the super soul. The super soul is in your heart. That means, why is the super soul in your heart? That means you are dear to the super soul. It's dear. So every individual, whether the worst person in the world, universe, still is dear to Krishna. So therefore we have to be very careful how we see others. Okay? And therefore, when we see Krishna in everyone's heart, we can understand that although they are different from us, we should respect that difference. Right? Mostly we try to fix and try to make them like us. So we shouldn't do that. We should respect differences, and not only that, we should stop finding faults. They are different. They will do some things different. Fault finding is not a Vaishnava quality, actually. You can guide someone, they can make mistakes. You say, oh, we don't do it like this. This is the way to do it. Okay, may I teach you how to do it? And say, what is wrong with you? Right? And it comes out so strong. People are like, oh, you know. Generally you'll see, hey, you did this very nicely. I saw that, But I want to show you how you can improve on this also. So that way they won't feel bad, say, oh, I did something good, he's now improving, okay. They can accept that. And so we have to appreciate people's qualities. Just like Krishna will say, oh, Arjuna, you're sinless. Because he is sinless, and Krishna is appreciating. Oh, Krishna, your mighty arm, Mahabaho, Mighty arm, Arjuna. Why? Because he is strong, he can compare. So Krishna is pushing his ego, Now you fight. Right? So when you have conflicts, you should understand, you should actually know chapter 16, because that's where the conflicts are. Why certain people behave in certain way. If you have demonic tendencies, then you act in this way. Krishna outlines very clearly. If you have divine qualities, then you behave in certain way. In all circumstances, we respond, but we don't react to the situation. We speak the truth, but the truth is spoken for their well-being, not to denigrate them, not to put them down. So when we speak like that, it is said to be spoken with compassion, because we want them to raise their consciousness. Yeah, and at all times, speech should never be harsh. It should be grave, but not harsh. Yeah, so that they understand this is my well-wisher. Of course, we should also be emotionally mature. If you want to cry, you should cry. but not in front of the deities. You can go out and cry. Or don't explode in emotions, which means you haven't controlled the senses. Generally, if you explode, that means you don't know how to control. In that case, you should go to some anger management out there. They have a lot of hospitals or so on. You can sign up for that. Nothing wrong, because it helps. Just like people with alcoholic addiction, they go to AA. So similarly, you can go to AM, anger management. Nothing wrong. And if people are emotionally disturbed, then you can always offer some support. Just like you see in the beginning in chapter 2, Arjuna was totally emotional and depressed. Krishna chastised him, but he also supported him. Okay. So anyway, these are some things for today. You should go and reflect and ask yourself, what are some of the principles you struggle with, and in your service. What are the dynamics of that service? And also you can say, when my ego is big, when does it come out? and when can I actually need the Gita to help me in healing? Yeah. So you can reflect on that. So anyway, we'll stop here, about 7 minutes to 9. So comments, reflections, questions, yes.
Thank you for the enlivening class. Today I really felt that yes, there is how really so many things to improve on. Really, the reflection is there.
Yeah.
But one question and one struggle, where I struggle a lot, is that you are talking about impulse, and also respond than react, and have compassion for the other person. But it's very, very difficult, especially when we are hurt, when we are provoked or something. That's the time when it's very difficult to have compassion for the other person, and I tend to react rather than respond. So can you please probably speak more on that?
Okay. When not to react, but to respond. That's what you're saying. It's not like it's, first of all, this takes practice also. But if you're conscious about it, that I'm always reacting, one of the things is you can do is have a daily prayer to your Guru, to Srila Prabhupada, to the deities, that please help me control my emotions. That's one thing. And then you find that they do respond. And then the other thing is, most of our problems stem from the fact that we don't chant properly. So, and a re-evaluation is required, and therefore we should chant with the proper intent. Because that's one of the daily activities you do, and the individual you meet is maybe not on a daily basis. So if you practice daily with the proper intent of wanting to serve and be a servant of Krishna, then the transformation will happen, that you see everyone as part and parcel of Krishna. Therefore I want to serve this person also, rather than react at what they said. You will have the opportunity, the Super Soul will make you realize, don't react. And then you'll have to think deeply what you want to say. You can also say, I'm not ready to respond to what you have just said, but give me some time, I want to talk about this later with you. Because oftentimes we think we have to immediately, react and put the person down, then I'm the victor,
The mind says that.
Yes. So therefore, it all stems, the bottom line is our chanting is not the best actually. We don't understand, and we went through that, the problems with not chanting properly is because we have so many other distractions. And so it's, we are coming over the years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, time to die. Where are we going to go? Back to Godhead or come back for round 2, or 3 or 4 ad infinitum.
So probably in practically also in a provoking situation or anything, one should really either leave the place or turn the mind and delay the response, as you said.
If you can,
Delay.
just like if someone comes to you and say, "Can you tell me what is this?" Some philosophy, and if you're not so clear on it and you're not familiar, you shouldn't offer something that is half baked. Right? You should say, "Okay, it's a good question. I want to respond. I have an answer, but I want to clarify with my my guru or my shiksha, or I want to check the shastra. Then I'll come back to you. Is that okay?" Yeah. It's always good to reflect first before you respond. It will protect you in the long run. Yeah. It's good.
You've given that example earlier on about not getting too attached to, seeing what's happening in the world, and at the same time not going to the other extreme. So, using that as a parallel, we say, okay, one can be like consistently inconsistent, or regularly unregulated, or happily haphazard.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But then there's also the other end of the spectrum where someone's so rigid, so fixed, so, like it's got to be like this, super regulated all the time, so that when life and all its turmoil, sometimes one thinks it's hard to cope with that because I need to have this done at a certain time, and then so therefore the pendulum can swing too far the other way.
Yeah, I think most of the problem is because we don't have proper education for devotees who join the movement. There's no pathway by where they can adopt and absorb good instructions so that they can practice. Most of the time they are in the so-called battlefield and learning. That's one of the problems. The extreme cases of rigidity, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that you can be strict with yourself, but you don't impose that values on others. Yeah, because they are not there. So why impose that? Yeah? What is the benefit by doing that? So it's important that way. Equipoised. Equipoised means basically is that you know how to become more and more Krishna conscious if you do it properly. You don't let this or that affect your focus of pleasing Krishna and the devotees. Something?
What's the, when we go to school or university or work, what's the balance in putting your best effort, working hard, and giving maybe too much time into something versus losing that time which you could spend in doing devotional service?
What is that?
So, what is the, I guess, where's the line to draw in how hard you work?
As a student, you want to work hard and get good grades and so on. So that's a given, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong, because at the end of the time, when you get the grades or whatever, you give that back to Krishna. So if you can connect that way in your activities, like let's say before you start your study, you should give prayers to Srila Prabhupada and say, I'm going to study now, give me the intelligence so that I can use nicely this to study, so that when I achieve the results, it is your grace, your glory, like that. And in studying, after sometimes you know how much you can also study. Sometimes I see students just study from morning till evening, just book. All play and no work makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Yeah. So therefore there must be balance also. Your balance you will know, because whatever courses you are doing, everyone does different courses. Like one in medical field will be stuck in the lab or in the in the library the whole day because they have to memorize so many things and so on and so on. So different students have different areas to concentrate and focus. What you should know is if your study is taking you away from Krishna, and right? Remember at the beginning I said you have to have regulated times for Krishna also. Now if you're not giving that time, then you know you're not following it properly. There's no balance there. Alright? So that is where you find your balance, ultimately. Yeah. So make a plan, schedule. 2 hours for chanting, seva, that must always be done. Then it's always balanced. The rest of the time you can study. It's not that hard. Yeah. You're not married, you don't have kids, so they won't disturb you. Mom and dad might. Anything else? Yes.
We're talking about the earlier on about the social media, and again, sometimes we think what we're seeing or what we're listening to is quite innocent, but the thing is that we don't really understand how deeply the samskaras, these impressions, go into our consciousness.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to
affects us.
Yeah, how much that affects. We think at the time, I'm all right, like I'm still chanting, I don't feel the effect, but it may take some time to manifest.
Yes. Like I mentioned in the beginning, if we are not serious about going back to Godhead, then we will come up with these reasons. It's okay, it doesn't affect me. So sometimes in practice also you find that there may be an individual, 1 or 2 person who can go through such and not affected. There are individuals like that, but it's not for the general population. The general population, devotee population, cannot do that. The other thing is the practitioner who's doing that, thinking he or she is okay for them, they should always confirm with the authority, their guru or someone who's guiding them. So, I spend 2 hours on social media daily. Is that okay? So the one who's guiding them should and must tell them how much time should be given to such thing. What is the purpose behind that social media ventures, right? Why do you go into those things? How does it help you? So a reflection and discussion between the, you can say guru and shishya, will allow the person to understand, actually it's not helping me. Yeah, mostly it doesn't. But that's one way of addressing the issue. Simply saying you cannot go on social media is tantamount to backfire. Right? They will do it. So therefore, in one case, Prabhupada was approached by one man, and he was saying, Prabhupada, I don't like my wife anymore, I want to divorce her again. Prabhupada said, in Vedic culture we don't do that. And he kept saying, Prabhupada, I can't, I have to, Then Prabhupada said, this is not right, Then he keeps giving the answer. Finally he said, Prabhupada didn't say you can't do. Prabhupada said, you do whatever you want. He didn't give any instruction, because if he said no, he was going to break it. So Prabhupada didn't want him to commit Guru Apara. So sometimes it is like that. You have individuals who will not listen to good instruction. Therefore they suffer. And they'll suffer really harshly or badly, and they will blame the whole process. It's very difficult sometimes. Anyway, in any case, if we are all understanding that we are helping each other go back to God, that always should be, the underlying factor is based on compassion and love. It should be there, and the other person should feel that compassion and love from each of us practices. And that will help others to say, this person is my well-wisher. So there's some value in what they are saying, so they will have to introspectively look at it. Otherwise you can't do much. Right? If someone wants to dig their own grave, right? Sometimes we say that, let the guy dig his own grave. Okay? Alright, so there's one more session day after. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much for coming. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thai Gaura Prabhu.
Radha Krishna Prabhu ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.